What is up there everyone, it's the guy from the Gamertag here, and today I wanted to give a speculative video on the connection issues and lag problems in Advanced Warfare, because the community has kind of used skill-based matchmaking as a scapegoat for their irritation at the game, but we can't exactly define whether that is the exact cause because very few of us have anything to do with video games other than that we play them. Now my suspicions are due to a various number of factors which seem to correlate towards one specific thing which could be a potential cause, and that is that this game is built on Modern Warfare 3. Now, as we all know, Sledgehammer Games did have an input on Modern Warfare 3, and I'm going to say right here and open out, I did say that they had very little to do with the multiplayer, and actually I'm now willing to retract that statement because of the way Advanced Warfare plays. When you look at it, it's actually got quite a few similarities. The first, one of the main ones, is that in the supply drops, people seem to be getting random Modern Warfare 3 weapons. There have people been getting MSRs, RPGs, USP-45s, they've just randomly come up in supply drops for no apparent reason. Now this is obviously an initial hint because of course you could say, well, some of these guns are in MW2, but weapons like the MSR only appeared in Modern Warfare 3. Now the actual connection issues, the way it works, where you have one game where it's good, one game that's bad, or that in sometimes the connection can just change mid-game where you'll be doing really well and then start doing badly and vice versa, is definitely a trait that Modern Warfare 3 had. The connection was extremely unstable and unpredictable and would generally seem to switch between different people's favours, and you could never always guarantee if you were going to get a kill, and that seems to be quite replicated in Advanced Warfare. You seem to never be sure if you're going to get the next kill because you can be going on an absolute rampage and then for whatever reason your gun just seems to do half damage on the next person you come up against. So that was another part of my suspicion, is that kept happening. Now also my third bit is that the game crashes quite a lot even on next gen. And this is something which has been fairly rare in the last two games. I think Ghosts maybe crashed once in its entire life cycle of me playing it. And then Black Ops 2 definitely had some crashes in zombies, but I don't remember it crashing very often in multiplayer. Whereas Modern Warfare 3 would crash about once a session, which is how Advanced Warfare seems to play out for me on the PS4. So this is something that also aroused my suspicions, and when you look at it, this kind of would hint towards the fact that this game could potentially have been built on Modern Warfare 3, and that Sledgehammer Games actually had a heavier input in Modern Warfare 3 than we initially thought. Because also, one other things you look at, gun balance. A lot of people are questioning the gun balance, and it kind of makes sense. All the guns are usable, but there are some guns which are absolute top tier weapons. What game does this reflect? Modern Warfare 3, you had the ACR and the MP7, the two most used weapons in that game. What have we got in Advanced Warfare? The BAL-27 and the ASM-1. Two SM, and what's even funny is they're in the same category, one assault rifle and one SMG, which dominate the rest of the competition. You can still use all the other guns, but they're a lot more difficult to use, and they kind of feel more of a niche role, where you play very specifically to suit the gun, which is something that was also reflected in Modern Warfare 3. Also, when you take damage, instead of it coming up around the edges of the screen, it sort of changed the colour of your screen. This is something that was in both games and shows that potentially there is a lot more down to Sledgehammer in Modern Warfare 3 than, as I said, I and most people thought. Also, survival mode. People said that was Infinity Ward's creation and then Sledgehammer copied it. But if it was Infinity Ward's creation, they would have stuck with it, whereas they didn't, and whereas Sledgehammer took the thing onwards and then evolved it into their own zombies mode. So you could say that from this it would point towards that this game is built on Modern Warfare 3 and Sledgehammer had a much heavier input than we initially thought. And this is my main speculation, is why this game might be playing the way it is. But anyway guys, I do hope this has been informative. None of this is 100% confirmed. I don't have any physical or statistical proof to back me up on this. This is just mere speculation on a number of things which seem to point towards this as a possible conclusion. But anyway guys, I do hope you've enjoyed. This has been the guy from the Gamertag, and I'll see you on another video.